Hello Booktube. Since I have some extra time today, I thought about making a tag video. And for this tag, I'm going to be doing the Exposing My TBR tag. This tag was created by Reading with Tatiana, and I saw it originally on Literary Gladiators. Josh did it. And I'll leave links to both videos in the show notes down below. Question number 1. How do I come across books to add to my TBR? I watch book haul videos. Steve Donahue does some wonderful book hauls. Michael K. Vaughan has some wonderful ones. SFF 180 has some wonderful ones. The History Shelf, Peg has some great ones. So a lot of book haul videos, which I love. I also look at publishing catalogs, particularly like, say, Chicago, Princeton, Head of Zeus. Also browsing on like Amazon or that sort of thing. Question number 2. Booktuber Shoutout to person who adds the most books to my TBR. That would be Steve Donahue, who has through his mail hauls introduced a lot of books to my TBRs and to my wish lists. A lot. So I will leave a link to his video or to his channel in the show notes as well. Prompt number 3. Book that has been there the longest. I want to say it will probably be either Frisk or The Line of Beauty. Frisk is a novel by Dennis Cooper. I've had that book for about 15 years or so, maybe a little bit more than 15 years, and I've never gotten around to it. And I also haven't gotten around to The Line of Beauty, even though I've had it for about as long. It's between those two. A few years ago, I did get one of the books that I've had on my TBR in my collection for ages and hadn't gotten around to reading, and that was Boulevard by Jim Grimsley, which I read in 2020. So maybe soonish I will get to Frisk and The Line of Beauty. We shall see. Prompt number 4. Most recently added book. Well, we'll go with books. And that would be my, I just did my August book haul today, which I would normally be doing it during this time period, but I thought I'd be off watching The 4 Children of the Apocalypse, my 2 nieces and 2 nephews, while my new baby niece had to go to the doctor, but we'll be watching them a little bit later, so I have some time to do this tag. But of that book haul, the most recent book I got from it is Cuba in American History by Ada Ferrer, and I will mention that in the books mentioned part of the show notes. Prompt number 5. Which book will I read next? I'm still undecided what I'm going to be reading today. My reading week so far this week has been chaotic, which usually happens at the end of the month when I have plans for the start of the next month. But I am planning to start tomorrow my massive reading of Fullmetal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. It's a manga series about 2 brothers, Edward and Alphonse Elric, who are prodigy alchemists. They attempt a human transmutation to resurrect their deceased mother, and as a consequence, the brothers are grievously wounded. Edward loses a leg, and Alphonse loses his body. To save Alphonse's life, Edward sacrifices an arm to transcribe Alphonse's soul onto a suit of armor. Eventually, Edward becomes a state alchemist for the country of Amestris, and Edward and Alphonse travel the country in search of the Philosopher's Stone, an alchemical artifact said to be able to bypass equivalent exchange. Basically, in alchemy, in this setting, you have to sacrifice an amount equal to, or if you want to create something, you have to sacrifice an equal amount of something to get that thing you're trying to make. And as the brothers travel searching for the Philosopher's Stone, they discover an old conspiracy that goes to the very heart of the Maestrian government, which sees both brothers as well as a number of their friends and allies as vital ingredients for their promised day. I love Fullmetal Alchemist. It's been too long since I've read the entire series. So I'm looking forward to starting my big reading of the entire series starting tomorrow. So I'll put that in my next read. Prompt number 6, most anticipated book and why haven't I read it yet? I don't know if I really have one at the moment. Well, I mean, I've read all of Fairy Tale, so that really doesn't count. As I slowly collect the entire series, because I'm thinking about doing a massive reading of the entire series once I have it all completed, although that might also drive me insane. But what book was I most anticipating that I haven't actually gotten around to reading it yet? Honestly, nothing's jumping out at me. So I think I'll pass on this one. Prompt number 7. Books that I added due to the hype. The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki, which did just recently win the Women's Prize. Also, Tomb of Sand by Shree. I'm blanking on her first name. I know her last name is Shree, which won the International Booker. Yeah, so I'll go with those two, were the most hyped books I picked up most recently because of the hype. Prompt number 8, books that I added that I knew I wasn't going to read. Oh, I have every intention of reading every book I own. It just might take me a decade or more to get to it. Prompt number 9, any book on there that I will remove. Well, at the moment, not a specific book. Again, I have every intention of reading or at least having a go at every book in my collection. Although I have been giving my science fiction and fantasy collection some serious side-eye the last few months. I don't know what's happened, but my interest in science fiction and fantasy has dissipated the last few months, and really 2 years. So, but I mean, a specific book, nothing's coming to mind. And prompt number 10, grand reveal. Number of books on my TBR. I don't actually have a number. I was thinking of doing like a more targeted September TBR. Mainly like that would coincide with booktube events and beyond just my reading of Fullmetal Alchemist, but I'm still not entirely sure what that's going to look like. I know I wanted to do at least one book for Dictember, and I wanted to do something with Shorty September. I printed out the cool little sheet for it, but I haven't really thought about what I wanted to add, although quite a lot of these prompts I can use Fullmetal Alchemist for. So, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to do Autumn more. I really have been putting off looking at the romances that my mom currently has from her sisters. So I don't know. But anyway, so for right now, for sure, and for September, Fullmetal Alchemist has 28 volumes. No, 27 volumes. I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 7 volumes of Tolapan Hanako-kun I'm going to get to in September, so that's 44, I think. I also want to get Survivors, Vanguard, 46. Murder Roger Ackroyd, I think, would be 47. And it's about 50 books. I think I've kind of got my eye on for September. I mean, of course, Fullmetal Alchemist and Taliban Hanako-kun really won't take me that long to read, because I can read a volume of manga in less than an hour. So anyway, so that was the Exposing My TBR tag. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I will see you tomorrow with another tag video. And maybe if I can figure out what I want to do, an actual September TBR video. But anyway, Booktube, that's all I've got for today. So thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.